Hello. Hello and welcome to my little tiny patio garden that's a little wild and crazy, especially at this time of the year. I decided to just show you a little bit of what I'm harvesting today. And so I decided I should have done this maybe a little bit earlier. You want to wait until like maybe the dew has dried on the plant. But today it's just like mid-afternoon, or I should say early afternoon, and have some harvesting of my chamomile to do. And this way, since it's such a small little plant, but this has actually been the first year I have had in our little patio kind of like a gardening situation, that my chamomile has done this well. It is every single day I am harvesting the blossoms, and so far I have been using it for tea, and occasionally I'll throw some of the fresh blossoms on my oatmeal in the morning, but we'll see if this is a good spot to sit. And I tried to be mindful if there were anthills anywhere around here, so we'll hope that's just fine. But yeah, so anyway, I just go ahead and well, first of all, the cutest the little clay pot that my daughter made when she was in a pottery class. It's so beautiful. The color is so rich. It's like the sky. And then putting my little calendula. If I say calendula, I mean chamomile. So, but I'm putting my little chamomile blossoms in there, and then I'm gonna let them dry. I've never actually, I was thinking about it, I haven't done an oil. That might be something to look into as well, like an infused oil. But I haven't worked with this plant. Now that I really think about it, I haven't really worked with this plant other than just through tea. I haven't done really anything, but I know that I've seen some in like skincare and stuff too, and I think if I remember correctly, it helps kind of like if someone has really oily skin, that it can go in and actually like it increases the oil so that it actually balances out, because it's actually, I think, an oil problem is because the body is actually really dry, so it's like just producing extra oil. So, but anyway, I just go ahead and just pluck these by hand. Kind of like making sure that I'm leaving enough of the herb for the bees and the butterflies and the dragonflies and whatever other insects that are thriving by the chamomile. And then I'll probably, seems like with these ones, since I just let them air dry, it does take a little while. And I last year had one thing where I was doing my calendula blossoms and letting them dry, and I didn't let them dry. I guess I thought I did, but maybe the center part of the blossom had dried completely, and it ended up being a little bit too much moisture, and I had put them in a little glass jar, was using them for tea, and not too long after they got kind of moldy, so there must have just been too much moisture in there. So I just kind of leave these ones out to air dry, and then for a few days, and then I actually put them into a little paper bag. And I have my little makeshift. We're actually I've had to kind of makeshift in a place like this small. I have this little area on the back. Maybe I'll just show you at some point. But I have this little area on the back of we have in our kitchen, between kitchen and dining room, there's like a cupboard that opens from both sides. And so the one side that's on the side of the dining room area, I actually just decided to put a little, whatever you want to call it, a place to hang things. And actually in the winter time, that's where all our cards go, for when people give us Christmas cards. And in the summer months, it serves as a drying station for my herbs. So yeah, and I'm still learning, I've been working with plants for many, many, many years. And actually when I was right out of college, I actually ended up working short time. And I remember actually having to transplant this enormous plant of chamomile, and it was so massive. I just remember the person who was the farmer, and she was like, okay, you go ahead and just transplant it. And I looked at her like, I've never done that before, so I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, transplant this whole thing? I said, yep, you just dig it up, dig all the roots up, and move it on over into another space. So, yeah, so chamomile, I've been working with it for a long time as far as like just having it in my garden. And like I said, I just a lot of times use it for teas, and specifically like one of the affinities that it has in the body, where it means like where does it go in the body, like when you take it in, where does it go? And that is the stomach, the digestive. And so like sometimes if you are a parent, or if you've heard of this before, that like when babies get colic, so they get like gas in their system, then chamomile has been known to help with that. So they actually have like little homeopathic remedy of chamomile for little babies. And yeah, so thinking in terms of like if your digestion is a little like bloating or gas, and especially like after dinner, it's a nice little thing to add in. And I'm still learning like the energetics of it. In fact, I don't even know what would it be. I'm looking at, see, you could think of like, because of the yellow blossom, you could think it's ruled by the sun, so there's the heat, which it might be co-ruled by the sun, but I also, with these delicate white flowers, I think moon, but also this kind of stuff here, the way this is, I don't know, maybe there's some Venus quality to it, but I think my guess is more like the moon, so like cooling, and yeah, I think it's cooling. So I'm going to do a little more research on that, because there's so much to know, and I know a lot about a variety of different plants, but I'm going to be forever learning these plants. And so and this, my goodness, I started taking herb classes specifically with Sajah Popham at Evolutionary Herbalism quite a few years ago. And now I'm in a program called what's it called? Alchemical. Oh my goodness. Alchemical herbalism. And so, yeah, so I'm just kind of like, when I deep dive on these things, it's like there's a lot to learn, but there's also some simple things that, you don't have to know everything. It's just making sure that obviously, they're safe plants, which this is a really safe plant. Most people can take this. I think there's like, if you have a ragweed allergy, it's not maybe the recommended, if I remember that correctly. But it's kind of some of these intro herbs that are some really powerful herbs, but that most people can take them, because you want to make sure, just because it's natural doesn't mean that everybody can have it. And if you're on certain medicines, like it's always just good to check and make sure. This one, I think, is like, there isn't, as far as I know, there's no known side effects for any specific medicines, but again, this is me learning, so you always want to make sure to do your own research. So but anyway, yeah, I think maybe I'll leave the rest for the bees. And there's a lot of the seeds are, some of them have gone to seed already, so I'm getting covered in seeds. But yeah, I think that's what I wanted to just share today. So sending so much love. If you have any questions, or if you're curious about herbology, look at how cute. Isn't that beautiful? It's kind of almost got like a scent of like, kind of like a honey. I don't even know how I would describe that. I've always been confused a little bit by potted. I don't know, delicious. Yeah, it's kind of got a little bit of a honey smell to it. Lemony, honey, sweet, kind of, maybe. That would be where I would guess. So anyway, if you have any questions or if you have like curiosities that you want to know about, I'm always like researching things. So if you're ever interested in knowing more, just let me know. All right. Enjoy your beautiful day.